Hello, guys. Here we ranking all of the MCU movies, and yep, yeah, and someone else already does these types of lists, but yep, I'll be doing this a very similar one. The M and I would instead of doing the top 10 worst and best MCU movies because there's only like 22 MCU movies, I'll probably do that when there's like 30 or 40. But yeah, the MCU has its ups and downs, and the MCU universe, and yeah, we're going over the worst to the best. Coming at no one's surprise, my least favorite MCU movie and one of my least favorite movies, and even on the worst superhero movies list, is Captain Marvel, or otherwise what I call it, Captain Marvel. Okay, Captain Marvel is probably one of the most. And if you really want to go on a better rant on Captain Marvel, let's go to the my most hated movies and top 10 worst superhero movies. I hate this movie. Captain Marvel, bad character, probably worst acting in the entire MCU. Okay, the only acting that even comes close in terms of bad character is Shuri. Hate her, but yeah, Captain Marvel. Hate the character. Hate the story. Okay, they ruined Nick Fury. They ruined the Avengers in this movie. Okay, they ruined the whole purpose of the Avengers. And yeah, Captain Marvel does not deserve anything above bottom tier. Okay, does not deserve anything above bottom tier. Okay, Captain Marvel, bad, awful, you know. And yeah, and also the big twist about Captain Marvel's memories. Oh yeah, it's a bunch of men talking about how bad she is. Yeah, if you want to watch a real movie about a female character, let's go watch the Wonder Woman movie. You know, or Alita Battle Angel, or Kill Bill, or any other actual movie with an actual interesting female character in the movie. And yep, that is Captain Marvel. Number, I think it's 21. The second to last place is Iron Man 2. Yeah, I do not like Iron Man 2. Okay. Iron Man 2, I think it's like a 6 out of 10 movie. Not really amazing. It's not really good. The villain, terrible villain. Okay. It's about Whiplash. You also have all these subplots and stuff that half of them never actually, get mentioned again. And that's the fact. This movie is just forgettable. I watched it like twice, and yeah, I watched it once in 2011 when the movie came out, and again where we watched all the Marvel movies leading up to Infinity War. And I didn't do it again when Endgame came out because I knew I'd have to sit through Iron Man 2. I'd have to sit through, Black Panther, another movie. It's probably gonna be coming up pretty soon. But yeah, Iron Man 2, very boring. Very, very dull for Marvel MCU flick. If you really want to watch a good Marvel Iron Man movie, just watch the first one instead. Don't watch this movie if you really want to watch unless you want to get updated with the MCU timeline and the MCU universe. Yeah, Iron Man 2, not good at all. It's probably the weakest of the MCU movies out there. And yeah, next is the least popular MCU movie, and that is For the Dark World. For the Dark World, not good. It's not a good one. Like Iron Man 2. For the Dark World has bears the same problems as Iron Man 2. Boring villain, boring fights, CGI, not that amazing. Worse than the first film. Storyline is worse than the first film. And yeah, overall, in an inferior version to the first movie, basically, same thing with For the Dark World. Thank God they actually gave us an actual great Thor movie in Thor Ragnarok. The first Thor movie was decent. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't terrible, but it was decent. And For the Dark World was overall a big disappointment. It is one of the lowest grossing MCU movies for good reason. Next movie is Black Panther. Yep, Black Panther is next on the list. I do not like this movie. Okay, and yeah, people are like, why you hating on Black Panther? Okay, for all my videos, I have basically ragged on this movie for its awful CGI. Okay, Hulk doesn't have good CGI. Okay, Iron Man 2, not amazing CGI, but still good for the time. Okay, For Dark World probably has some of the work, and then Captain Marvel, self-explanatory. Its CGI is bad, but Black Panther, you have poor, really bad CG winos in the movie. Okay, they're bad. They're not good. Okay, the CG winos are ugly, ugly in the movie. Okay, you also have this one thing where they're trying to hide the natural wealth from the world. Like, what the hell is that bull crap? Okay, it's like Wakanda, like North Korea, where they won't sell anything, because that's the closest comparison I've compared Wakanda to. Because you know what North Korea is? North Korea is a country that hides its wealth and secret from the world, and basically, and yeah, many people have explained how Wakanda will fail because of how they handle the economy. Basically, it's the same thing how North Korea is a failing state, because yeah, they why would a country disguise it? And if you just go through basically how nations work, a country cannot run itself disguising itself being poor, and if it does that way, and hide its and refuse to trade, but somehow become wealthy. Okay, you know what it ends up being like Eritrea and North Korea, countries that refuse to open up to the outside world, where hide all the deepest secrets, darkest secrets from the world. And let's not forget the worst fight scene in the entire movie, except for besides Cat, no, the entire MCU, the final fight scene, and Black Panther versus Killmonger, the final fight scene, awful fight scene. Okay, the fight scene. I watch Marvel movies. Mostly for the great fight scenes. The great action scenes, and the story as well, but mostly for the fight scenes, and even the humor in some movies. But Black Panther, this wow. What? Oh, this movie was a big letdown. I was like, really? That's the final fight scene of Black Panther? That's the final fight scene? And then let's not forget that Black Panther introduced Zoe, one of my least favorite MCU characters of all time. I hate that. I hate her. One of the most annoying characters in the MCU. Okay, see the swines and cry. She's just a whiny. Yeah, I hate her. She's a bad, annoying character. And yeah, I really got pissed off when they said they're going to replace Black Panther with her, because essentially she's one of the most annoying characters in the entire MCU movies. Okay, and yep, that's basically it. Captain, Black Panther didn't like the movie. Didn't like the movie. It's still better than Captain Marvel for the Dark World and Iron Man 2. So at least that has going for it. And of course, Black Panther had better villains than the first three movies combined. Which is the only good part about the movie. Next is Edward Norton's Hulk. Yep. You forgot this movie was a part of the MCU. You thought this was its own movie? Well, the Hulk movie is probably the most off-putting movie in the entire MCU. So the Hulk movie is essentially one of the most, it's the action scenes are pretty decent, but again, this movie is just forgettable. Hulk, the acting in this movie wasn't really that amazing. Hulk wasn't really a good character. It's the most, it wasn't connected to the other MC movies. It's the only MC movie not to be connected with the interconnected universe. And yeah, that really it just feels like it doesn't feel like a part of the MCU. They even have a different actor for the Hulk now, because the first, Edward Norton wasn't really a great Hulk. But yeah, this movie that shows like Hulk movies don't work, because yeah, Hulk, this movie just didn't work at all. Yep, not surprising. So the next movie on the list is Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3. So we're going to the okay movie, the movies that I actually think are decent. Yeah, we're done with the bad MCU movies, the movies I don't like. But yeah, Iron Man 3, it's a okay movie. I don't really think it's one of the greatest MCU movies. Iron Man 3, I think it's way better than Iron Man 2. But yeah, the only bad part of the movie is the Mandarin twist. Okay, the Mandarin twist is what ruined the movie for a lot of people. I don't really think it's the worst thing in the movie. But yeah, not an amazing twist at all. And yeah, it's kind of like, they're trying to support your expectations, but really, it's just not a good way to do it. And yeah, it's just the movies that do twist villains way better than Iron Man 3. And yeah, the 50 suits thing of Iron Man, that was a pretty unique thing. They bought the 50 suits to fight against the guy who was really behind all the bad things. But yep, Iron Man 3, very not good Marvel movie. There are much better movies in Iron Man and the MCU than this movie. Yep. So this movie is kind of like, in the middle of MCU movies. Basically. And yep, that is it for Iron Man 3. So, Iron Man 3, very, very forgettable. Next movie on the list is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp is probably one of the more forgotten Marvel movies because it's just, yeah, forgettable. Ant-Man and the Wasp is kind of like a filler movie between Infinity War and Endgame. Basically, it doesn't really stand up on its own. Basically, it's just a filler movie. The only, thing that you find out what happened to Ant-Man during this movie, hooray, yay. The good part about the movie is the humor and, Ant-Man somehow avoiding being, caught by the police and stuff. Well, yeah, this movie, I was expecting, a lot more from this movie. It really wasn't an amazing movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, the first movie was way better, but Ant-Man and the Wasp was, yeah, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. So next movie on the list is Avengers Age of Ultron. Yep, Avengers Age of Ultron. So when people say more of the same is a good thing, well, all they have to do is watch this movie. Avengers Age of Ultron is probably the worst of the Avengers movies. Whenever I watch the Avengers movies, I always don't watch this one. Why? Because it's probably the blandest of the movies, okay? People like to rip on Justice League, basically. Oh, Justice League is not that great to see, But again, Avengers Age of Ultron is like that movie. Age of Ultron is not like the other Avengers movies. Endgame, it's good. Infinity War, it's amazing. Avengers 1, it's amazing. But Age of Ultron was a big, big letdown. They try to, it's like they try to capture lightning in a bottle and it just didn't work for some reason for the second one. Even the first one worked so well, it just seems that you can't capture the same formula again and again. So, and yeah, it does, yeah, Age of Ultron, very disappointing movie. I was disappointed when I saw the movie. I think I saw it like twice or something. Don't really remember because it's Age of Ultron. It isn't really the best of the MCU. So, yep, next movie on the list is the first Captain America. First Captain America, it's good. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not city like the other MC movies. It's okay. Let's Go, I think, is a good villain. He's a good villain. He's kind of one of the more forgettable movie villains, MCU movies. But yeah, he is definitely a way better villain than Malkuth and all the other villains. A better villain. But yeah, Red Skull, very great villain. You have the, you also have the World War II saying, but I just do not why they skip through the World War II saying. They could have easily made that into another movie alone. But yeah, basically, yeah, Captain America, it's fine. It stands well, on its own. Yep. And yeah, we will go and really it sets up into the Avengers initiative as well. So yeah, basically it's a okay Marvel movie. It's not as amazing as the other Avengers movies. So yeah. So yeah, it's it's good. So yeah, you have the acting is pretty decent. Excuse me, but yeah, the acting is very very okay. It's not it's not good as its sequels. So yeah, next movies are the likable. Next is for yeah, these are now getting into the good movies. So next is four. Four is actually pretty decent. The characters are good, and yeah, four really does it does it way better than the second movie. Okay, four is definitely way higher than the Dark World. Okay, four, the first out of the water, character is pretty good. I actually thought it was pretty good. It's a pretty good fit for this movie. It was one of the worst grossing Marvel movies, but it is one of the more impactful. It introduces this universe of Asgard and stuff, and introduces us to Loki, who became the villain in the Avengers. Even though we all found out later that he was being controlled by Thanos, so it was really Thanos was the villain of the first Avengers movie, not Loki. But yeah, Loki was a pretty great villain in this movie. And also and also this movie is about Thor proving that he's actually not a bad person, stuff like that. And yeah, Thor was actually a pretty decent movie. Next movie on the list is Doctor Strange. Yeah, I saw this movie like once. Basically, it was okay. It was good. And yeah, it was kind of Dormammu, great villain. Doctor Strange, very good character. Especially in Infinity War and stuff. But yeah, Doctor Strange is probably one of the most important characters in the MCU, and he's probably one of the most, well, before the movie, he was kind of like one of the more forgotten movie characters in the Marvel comics because not many people do about Marvel characters. But yeah, the magic scenes are pretty good. The CGI is amazing. So yeah, likable movie, a decent, good movie. Yep. Next is Ant-Man. Ant-Man is actually a pretty decent movie. Before we get to the actual good Marvel movies, yeah, Ant-Man pretty good. That has a great pretty good heist filler. Probably saw a movie like, when my people told me to watch, I was like, really, a movie about ants, okay? But it took me like 3 years to actually watch it. It was actually pretty good. You know, I finally got through my, troubled years, basically, and finally started to watch a lot of these movies, and I realized I was missing out on these movies. Ant-Man was a really funny movie, really entertaining and joyful movie to watch. I really liked the whole heist thriller thing, the whole heist thing. It was a very unique concept of an MCU movie, and this movie is like a proof that not all MCU movies are the same movies, essentially. And yep, that's basically it for Ant-Man. Next is a hot take. Endgame. Yep, Endgame. Endgame, I think, is very overrated. Very overrated movie. Okay, again, what do like Endgame not in best tier? Well, I used to think it is, but again, Endgame, it's there's a lot of plot holes in Endgame that are not ignored. Infinity War has its fair share of plot holes, but yeah, Endgame, the only thing, the action scene is good, but yeah, basically Endgame, oh yeah, Thanos killed half people, we killed Thanos, okay? And then, like, oh, we have to get the gang back together and stuff. And, they, changed Thor and they ruined Hulk. They changed Hulk into Professor Hulk and they ruined him. They turned Thor into a fat guy for some reason. And some of the characters were not even included that much in the movie, like Rocket Raccoon. He was only in like 5 scenes in the movie. He wasn't even barely in the movie at all. Barely in the movie. Really. And several other characters were not in the movie. And yeah, Captain Marvel was in the movie that was. So it was only in the movie for 15 minutes. And God forbid that he brought her wooden acting to Endgame. Yep. She brought her awful acting to Endgame. So yep, Brie Larson again ruined the entire movie. She didn't ruin the entire movie. The movie's still great, but yeah, still better than Age of Ultron. Way better than that one. But yep. And now we gain into the good MCU movies, the ones that are actually good. And yeah, these movies are all good. That first movie on the list is Homecoming. Homecoming is a pretty good movie. I think that Far From Home was way better than Homecoming because it has a better villain. But Vulture is still a great villain. Spider-Man is still likable. There's a lot of people who hate Spider-Man, this version of Spider-Man, for some reason. Mostly Tobey Maguire fanboys who hate on this version of Spider-Man, where it's just stupid, it's dumb, But yeah, I like this new version of Spider-Man. The dynamic between Iron Man and him was pretty great. And yep, that's really it about Spider-Man Homecoming. I like the villain. I like the plot, the characters, the action scenes were actually pretty decent. Were actually pretty good. And yeah, I've seen this movie like a few times, basically. And yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, good movie. Next movie on the list is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I saw this once. This movie was actually pretty good. Again, it's not as good as the newer movies that come out, but yeah, Captain America: Winter Soldier is still a good movie. It has really great action scenes and probably has one of the better stories of the MCU. But yeah, it also had the really amazing scene between an emotional fight scene between Bucky and the Winter Soldier and Captain America. It did that way better, and that fight was way better than Black Panther's fight. Okay, yeah, Captain America: Winter Soldier. It is considered one of the best MCU movies, but I still think that there's another Captain America movie that is much, much better than Winter Soldier. Next movie on the list is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yep. This movie I will put in the likable section, but again, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a movie. The more times I watch it, the more I like it. It's just one of those things, and now it's in the top 10 movies of the MCU movies. Most people put it in the middle. Some people didn't really like the villain Ego, but yeah, Ego's a good villain. He is not a, he introduces us to the world of Celestials. The humor is actually pretty funny. It's way better than most modern animated movies, that is. But yeah, the humor actually hits. The first movie had a better story, but yeah, and better action scenes. But yeah, still a lot of good scenes. There's also there's a the humor again is pretty good. The characters are pretty great, and yeah, it's more of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah, it's a very great movie, and yeah, I think this movie will probably get higher in the future. Yep, that's basically about Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Next movie is Thor Ragnarok. I like this movie. It's funny. It's the characters are great. The villain is great. You know, and yeah, this movie has shown that yeah, MCU villains have really gone better over time. And yeah, like Endgame villain, but yeah, Marvel villains have gone better over time, and yeah, Thor Ragnarok proved that villains gone better, you know, and yeah, you also got the sense of helplessness when Thor got his hammer destroyed by Hela. Yeah, that's and all that stuff, and yeah, there's also a lot of funny scenes in the movie and a lot of great character moments, and also they include the Hulk. It felt also like a Hulk movie as well, and yeah. And also, you finally found out what Hulk went after Age of Ultron too. So, yep, good movie. Next movie on the list is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Yep, Spider-Man: Far From Home is amazing. It's amazing, and yeah, Hobie McCry fans will now be angry at this. I like this movie more than Spider-Man 2, like Homecoming. Okay, yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home probably has the best Spider-Man villain. Yep, that probably is also gonna piss people off because, oh, but Doctor Octopus from Spider-Man 2. But I think Mysterio probably has the best. He's probably the best villain of the Marvel universe. No, besides no of the MCU besides Thanos and Loki. Okay, Mysterio. He is the master of illusions, and he's basically this guy who used to work for Stark, but he just didn't like how Tony Stark treated him, so he wanted to get revenge on Tony Stark. Oh, it's just a simple revenge story, but he actually is a good villain because he basically tricked the world into believing he's kind of like Loki 2.0. He tricks people. He's an illusionist, and I like how the end twist ending. Well, basically, Mysterio reveals who Spider-Man is. Yeah, Mysterio. I think he does his job pretty well as a villain, and yeah. And now we get into the best MCU movies. First up is Iron Man. So Iron Man, people think, they tell Iron Man is probably one of the, they set up Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. And this movie just proved that Robert Downey Jr. was perfect for the role of Iron Man. Okay, I know the sequels were not that great, were pretty underwhelming, but the villain, yeah, it's a pretty, the bad guy, he is a rival to Iron Man. He wants to stop Iron Man because he hates Iron Man because he's a business rival and he tries to kill Iron Man. The film is pretty great, but again, basically the movie is about the character of Iron Man. And basically, he carries the entire movie. Okay, he carries the entire movie. Like there's only two other movies that really do that, and basically, you turn a villain, a evil character, into a likable character. Only one other. And I don't think really any other movie does that better than Iron Man. I don't think any other movie does that better you know, maybe except for the Joker movie. The Joker movie is a close contender, but again, they made it a character that is an evil, not a good character. Because at the beginning of Iron Man, he's a very arrogant guy. He doesn't really care about the people around him. But at the end of the movie, he started actually doing stuff for good. And yeah, Iron Man, very great movie. They made character of Tony Stark, so that's Iron Man, into a very likable and believable character. Basically, he got the consequences, and he actually instead of turning into a bad guy and giving in to the terrorists, he actually became a good guy. So yeah, very very great turnaround for a character that everybody loves. Next movie on the list is Civil War. Civil War is one of the best Marvel movies in history. Okay, and it's very hard, and it's kind of like the mini Avengers movie, okay? And I like how, and the best part of the movie is the Sokovia Accords and how it divides the Avengers. That's kind of like the best part. Dark Phoenix tried to copy Civil War, and they failed. I wonder why, because they really wanted to copy MCU's success, and they failed. But yeah, Civil War, very great movie, very awesome action scene between, people, Batman versus Superman. Oh, two of the most famous superheroes fight. Oh, Civil War. all the Avengers except for Hulk and Thor fight, and all of them. Spider-Man gets introduced in the MCU in this movie. Black Panther introduced these interesting characters. You introduce these interesting characters in this movie, Black Panther and Spider-Man, and you also get their own movies, okay? And yeah, Black Panther was a letdown, but you introduce these interesting characters in this movie. You have a villain who is basically pulling the strings. Yeah, Civil War is probably one of the most perfect MCU movies. And that's only number 4. Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy, another perfect MCU movie, okay? You have this group of characters that, they shouldn't really get along, but they realize, at the end of the movie that they are alike, basically. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy has the humor, character, and everything, okay? Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was more on the humor side, and I do like humor, but again, humor does not make a movie good unless it's a Jim Carrey movie. And yeah, the characters are great. The songs are great. The everything about this movie is great. The fights are great. The villain is great. Ronan, he's a good villain. They introduced Thanos in this movie, which he is a very interesting character as well. All the Guardians of the Galaxy characters are interesting characters. Yondu, a very great character. And yep, this movie is amazing. So yeah. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, if you have not seen it, you should see it. Basically, yeah. And it's also the sequel, not as good as the original, but I'm starting to like the sequel a bit more than the first movie. No, I don't like the sequel more, but I'm starting to like the sequel more. I didn't mean to say it more than the original movie, because the original movie is better than the sequel. But I'm starting to like the sequel more and more. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is still a very good movie. Basically, yeah. It's still a pretty amazing movie, basically. And yep. Number 2 is the Avengers. So there are people who hate this movie for, there's no stakes in the Avengers. How could you like the Avengers? Well, the Avengers, they brought all of the team together. They brought everybody, okay? You have Iron Man, you have Thor, you have all these characters meeting, and it's, people have been wanting this for a long time. There's superhero movies, superhero team-ups, basically, in the movies, and they finally brought it to the big screen. And the best part about the Avengers is they set them all up in previous movies. Now they might not be the greatest movies like Iron Man 2 or 4, the first 4 movie. Actually, the first 4 movies are actually pretty good, but yeah, the second Iron Man movie might not be the greatest, the Hulk movie might not be the greatest, but you brought these group of characters together, something that, is probably the greatest of fan service that a company could ever do, something that the X-Men never did, something that DC could have never accomplished. They even tried to make their own Avengers and failed, basically, the Justice League movie. And yeah, Avengers basically set up the, Loki, very great villain, basically set up the villain, the Battle of New York, very great battle, probably one of the best action scenes in the entirety of the MCU. And yeah, the people who hate this movie, there's no stakes in Avengers, okay? But yeah, the Avengers, epic movie, and yeah, basically a lot of companies tried to copy this movie. That's how great this movie is. That a lot of movies they released a lot of movies that try to copy this movie. Hellboy, Justice League, and various other movies, and 99% of them failed. There are even movies that try to recapture Avengers like movies like Ready Player One. Because how influential this movie is on it. And this movie really started the whole cinematic universe trend as well. With movies as well. The whole cinematic universe trend of the Marvel, of other cinematic universes being created. And yeah, Avengers number 2. Next is Infinity War. Infinity War, I think, is probably the best of the Marvel movies, okay? Probably the best, okay? You have all these characters, you have all of the Avengers that have been previously set up throughout the entire movie. Okay, and then you introduce probably the best Marvel movie villain ever. And basically that's, they built up Thanos as this, character who was, he was basically, his planet was starving to death. It was way better than the actual story in the comics. Oh, he was obsessed with death, but they actually made Thanos a much more believable character than someone who just wanted to wipe out half the universe to impress his crust, basically. But yeah, they made Thanos into a believable villain. Basically, he wanted to save the universe by eliminating half of all life. And yeah, I think Thanos was way better in this movie than Endgame. They killed off Thanos in Endgame basically in the movie, and yeah, they made Thanos into this very great villain. There's also a lot of very sad moments in the movie that I don't want to spoil. A lot of very sad moments in the movie. You also have all the characters coming and fighting Thanos, fighting the big bad, the new big bad of the entire MCU movie, Thanos, and yeah, the MCU. Basically yeah, that's the MCU ranking. And yeah, feel free to put your own ranking in the list. And yep, this video has been literally 30 minutes long. And yep, we have ranked all of the MCU movies. That's basically it. Goodbye.